Bollywood Railway Sports Ground to inaugurate the 26th edition of the National Youth Festival. Meanwhile, huge questions have now been raised on this massive security breach, viewers.
Sir, just wanted to know the details about this guy who reached near to the Prime Minister during the road show.
We are examining, and there is no breach as such. And all crowd which has been standing aside the road has properly check has been done, frisking has been done, everything has been done to that crowd which is stopping both sides of the road.
But the unidentified person reached near the PM convoy, sir. He gave a flower garland.
PM convoy is just, the convoy is very near to barricade only, na?
Yes.
So, So, we are examining this issue anyhow. Let us check what was this.
I want to immediately connect to my colleague Naga Arjundwar-Kanath, who's joining us for the latest. Naga, what is ensued at the back of this massive security breach, and accountability needs to be fixed? The SPG has a lot of homework to do, and possibly, an advisory would be given to the Prime Minister as well, the Prime Minister's office as well regarding the same. But having said that, what are the local authorities saying?
Well, that is true, Preeti. In fact, I spoke to the commissioner myself, Hubli commissioner. He's given me more details. The boy is of 10 to 11-year-old from Dharwad. He was over-enthusiastic. He jumped the barricade, then gave the garland to the Prime Minister. They are not calling it a breach of security or a protocol breach because they say that even the garland was frisked. Every item that reached the location was frisked thoroughly. And we know that this boy was a supporter of Prime Minister Modi and a fan of Prime Minister. He then jumped and gave the garland. We don't see this as a security breach because lakhs of people were there and the car was very close to the barricade as well. And the garland was not a foreign object because it was thoroughly checked by the security officials. They have not detained the boy considering his age also. He's just 10 to 11 years old. He was just enthusiastic seeing the Prime Minister jumped and then gave the garland. He's a local person here, so the local police also have information about his family, but they have not taken any action yet in terms of detain and arrest. SPG is talking to the local police as well, is what we are told, that certain explanation will have to be given that how did he jump, and if he did jump, why was he not stopped. But what we are picking up from our sources also that there was prior permission in the sense when Prime Minister saw him coming, he didn't stop him. He in fact took the garland and put it on the windshield later.
All right. The opposition, the Congress, Naga, has made a political meal out of it, with many leaders from the Congress in the Karnataka unit actually blaming the Prime Minister himself for violating his own security protocol.
Well, that is true. The Congress has come out heavily on the Prime Minister, saying Prime Minister is not just Prime Minister for BJP but also for India. He is Prime Minister for almost 1.3 billion people. So Congress is saying his safety is paramount, and him standing on the footboard and breaching, trying to be close to the people when it's unsafe, that is not done. He will have to follow what the protocol set by the SPG. Congress is saying this is a security breach and it should not be happening, while the police here are saying it is just an over-enthusiastic kid who came and gave the garland.
All right, Naga, appreciate you joining us. Thank you. There we're going to keep a keen eye on what clearly, viewers, is extremely worrying on what has taken place. With that, I want to quickly shift focus to the other big development that we've been tracking on the course of the last 10 days, and that comes in from Uttarakhand and the town of Joshimath, at the center of a serious ecological disaster. Demolition drive has begun in midst of protests by the residents, while over 700 houses have shown cracks. At least 130 families have been shifted out to safety. Chief Minister Dhami, who is in Joshimath, has announced that only 2 hotels will be demolished and not the houses. He also announced an immediate compensation of 1.5 lakh rupees to affected families. Dhami also spent a night at the relief camps with the protesters to review the assistance provided to the affected. He also held a key meet with senior officials on the situation. Meanwhile, the centre continues to keep a close eye on the situation in the hill state. Home Minister Amit Shah is likely to chair a key meeting today on the issues which all the issues which have taken place and how they are being attended by senior officials. But the sad part, viewers, is it's not just Joshimath facing a subsidence threat. Houses in Chamoli, in Karnaprayag have also begun to show cracks, with state officials beginning immediate inspection. Let's connect to my colleague Amit Bharadwaj, who's been reporting from Joshimath through the course of the last 10 days. Amit, what is the latest? The temperatures have plummeted. The Chief Minister did spend a night at the relief camp with all, residents who are extremely heartbroken, worried, but happy with the compensation that has been given. What's the road ahead?
Well, Preeti, the weather out here is constantly worsening as far as the affected families of Joshimath are concerned and the present situation of Joshimath is concerned. Even right now, light rains are happening in Joshimath. Last night, all through the night, Joshimath witnessed light and moderate rainfall. And if you would look at the Himalayan range right now, there are dark clouds all across, and snowfall is constantly happening in the nearby Himalayan range, which means that these are not really good signals. Rather, these are alarming signals as far as Joshimath is concerned. Until yesterday, there was a lot of anger which was pouring out on the streets, and that was majorly because there was no ex gratia amount announced by the government, and it was actually creating a sense of distrust amongst the affected families of Joshimath as well as the Dhami government. But after the compensation ex gratia amount announcement, what we saw today, the anger has gone down. People, though, are asking questions what will happen to their future. In fact, Preeti, if you look at this situation, the management, the district management and the government officials have also managed to convince the protesters who were sitting at the Malari Hotel. And today, by noon, the authorities were able to get access to the Malari Hotel, and the demolition activity was started today. But it had to be halted because of the rains which is happening right now. So the two hotels which are posing danger to many homes located down the terrain near on the Badrinath highway, that will be resumed tomorrow in the morning around 9. Back to you, Preeti.
Appreciate you joining us, Amit. We're going to continue to get back to you. The very latest there. The temperatures plummeting in Uttarakhand, but viewers, that's just not it. What is predicted in the north of India is far worse, while we keep a keen eye on developments in Joshimath, Uttarakhand and the other towns which are experiencing same kind of subsidence like Joshimath. On the other side, to the point, we are going to focus and put the spotlight on North India and predictions where the temperature is concerned. Be prepared where the North Indian plains are concerned for not just sub-zero, but temperature which will run into -degrees Celsius in the next 10 days. That's our top focus. Stay with us.
You are watching India Today.
It's 2023, and India remains the sole shining star in the global economy. So what lies ahead as the Modi government prepares its last full budget before the 2024 general elections? Join the biggest names in business journalism, decoding the jargon with the biggest newsmakers. From the most credible, in-depth analysis of Budget 2023, tune in for Modinomics 2023 through the month. Only on India Today and Business Today Television, gold standard of business journalism.
You look at your lyrics you've written, very simple, but still conveys the message so well, Chandrabose Garu. Naatu Naatu means dance, dance. And then you describe dance. Dance like, a scorpion has bitten you. Dance like you've eaten hot chilies. Dance like, at a horse's pace. All of this is so unique, sir. Do you feel that this is the best work of your life, Naatu Naatu?
Yeah, 100%. Because it's a balanced kind of work. Balance. That is a balanced thing. We should not go overboard, or we should not go beyond this thing. So this is a balanced thing. We have to describe only Naatu from rural background. This is not a complete city kind of thing. They came from small villages. So the village things. I born and brought up in a small village. So I remember the things what I wrote what I experienced in my life. I wrote what I experienced in my life. That the lines came from my life only. Errajonna rottelona merapatokku kalipinattu. Errajonna means that one kind of millet, and merapatokku means chili chutney. So I experienced the food. In my home I used to eat the rotte with chutney. ఎర్రజొన్న రొట్టెలోన మిరపతొక్కు కలిపినట్టు నా పాట చూడు నాటు 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 నా పాట చూడు నాటు నాటు నాటు. The complete gist comes in the one line, that the ఎర్రజొన్న రొట్టెలోన line, and every line depicts the culture, every line depicts the strength, every line depicts the confidence, every line depicts the financial status of the youth in villages. So that song came into my life, my experience, my memories, my childhood.
Looks like we have a new couple in town. That's right, Vijay Varma and Tamanna Bhatia are making heads turn after they were spotted together at a New Year party in Goa. In fact, in this video, which is going viral on social media, they are seen hugging, kissing, dancing together and having a gala time too. Strange, but these visuals have got rumour mill abuzz, with fans speculating a possible relationship between the two, more so as they were spotted leaving Mumbai together for New Year's celebrations. And before this, also grabbed eyeballs as they attended Diljit Dosanjh's concert in the city in December. On work front, Tamanna made her acting debut with Chand Sa Roshan Chehra in 2005 opposite Sameer Aftab. She was last seen on OTT Space with Bubbly Bouncer, directed by Madhur Bhandarkar, and this year she will star opposite Nawazuddin Siddiqui in Bole Churiyan. Vijay Varma, on the other hand, made his feature film debut with Chittagong in 2012.
और घर पहुंच के ना मेरा वाला काम कर देना आपको फोन पे जो बोला था ना मैंने.
He is also known for his work in films such as Pink, Monsoon Shootout, Manto, Gully Boy and the Ghost Stories anthology.
पप्पू पाकिट मार बोलना रे कीजिए कैसा है.
He was last seen in OTT movie Darlings with Alia Bhatt.
हाथ खोल साली तो जान से जाएगी. किधर जा रहे ली?
And now is all set to be seen in Sujay Ghosh's The Devotion of Suspect X with Kareena Kapoor Khan and Jaideep Alawat. Not sure how serious their dating game is, but for now, all eyes are on Vijay and Tamanna as they brought in 2023 in each other's company. Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
Driven by At Hyundai, we are going beyond mobility.
Never seen cold wave predicted for North India. -4°C bone-chilling nights ahead. North India preps for severe chills between 14th and 19th January. Temperature in plains to plummet to a -4°C. Be ready for frosty mornings and cold blasts. Active western disturbances to trigger this extreme weather condition. North Indian plains to brace for its coldest spell ever. Viewers, when you say the coldest spell ever, that technically means the coldest spell in a century. That is what has been predicted by certain experts with what we are going to witness in the next 10 days. Now, if you live in North India and you thought that the worst of the winter is over and behind you, then you might want to wait before you put your thermals, your warm clothes and your heavy jackets away. There literally might be bone-chilling news ahead. The various experts, weather experts, have predicted extreme conditions. The IMD has predicted only a temporary relief from what has been an excruciatingly cold winter, to extend it being the third coldest winter for northern plains in 23 years. But what lies ahead can be worse. Certain weather experts are predicting, and brace for it, the worst winter for the northern plains in a century. January 2023 could go down as the coldest for the region in decades, with temperatures in the plains dipping as far as -4°C next week. Several severe chills are predicted between January 14 and 19 and are likely to be at their peak from January 16th to January 18th. 3 days. What is being predicted is going to be possibly the worst winter that Delhi has seen in a century. That be it any generation, anyone who lives in NCR region or the northern plains and nearby cities is going to witness the worst winter they have ever seen. The reason now is what is being predicted, very active yet unusual western disturbances which could pull down the temperatures to unseen degrees or unheard degrees. While light rainfall could help stabilize temperatures in Delhi NCR temporarily, the next 4 days will be the decider if the region will witness its worst winter ever. But what is being projected by some experts, not the IMD, but certain experts, seem to suggest that Delhiites and other in the North Indian plains brace for the worst winter you've possibly ever seen. All right, I want to cut across right now to all our reporters as news continues to filter in on what is being predicted or projected. I have with me Akshay Dongre, who joins me from the national capital, Delhi, which has seen practically the worst winter in 23 years. Manjeet Sehgal, Chandigarh, Abhishek Mishra, Varanasi, Jaykishan Sharma, Jaipur, Sunilji Bhatt, Jammu. I want to begin with you, Akshay, because the IMD still doesn't quite concur with the views of certain experts, but you know, they'd predicted a temporary reprieve or relief. Usually, you know, Lodi is tomorrow. When Lodi comes in, Makar Sankranti comes in the traditional sense, it says, you know, it's said that the worst of the winter is behind you. But with what certain experts predict, Akshay, we are bracing up for the worst winter of our lives.
Well, absolutely. In fact, for the past several years, Delhi and the north part of our country have been witnessing extreme weather conditions, be it rains, be it winters, be it summers. And as far as the winters are concerned, yes, we are hearing from some experts that the next few days are going to be extremely difficult as far as the weather conditions are concerned. Now, we saw some of the longest cold spells in the national capital in a period of over 23 years when there was a cold wave spell from 4th of January to 10th of January. Again, there was a prediction made by IMD and certain experts that it will drizzle today in the national capital and northern plains, including Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, western UP and northern Rajasthan. A similar thing happened today. It drizzled in the national capital. That has kept the temperatures under control. However, starting from 16th of January till at least 20th of January, so for 4 more days, there are going to be extreme weather conditions, and regions like Rajasthan, where we have seen temperature going to 0 degrees Celsius, there in the plains, the temperature might as well go below 0 degrees Celsius to up to -4 degrees Celsius. That is what the IMD is predicting, and that is the reason why experts are saying that the worst is not over as far as the winter is concerned. And for the upcoming 4 to 5 days, people must brace for impact as far as the extreme weather condition of winter in the national capital is concerned.
You know, Akshay, stay with me because I'm going to also get you in just once we go across to all our other reporters on what is it that the IMD is predicting, because the IMD is not on the same page as certain experts, but the IMD viewers, you have to take with a pinch of salt, because mind you, just in the beginning of December, the IMD had predicted the warmest winter for Delhi and the northern plains. So what about that? But Manjeet Sehgal joining us from Chandigarh. What is the temperature in Chandigarh? You know, there's been a short reprieve. There's Lodi tomorrow, huge Punjabi festival. Usually what is seen is that the cold recedes after Lodi. This time, it's exactly the opposite, what is being predicted.
Well, Preeti, the Chandigarh residents and the areas nearby Chandigarh experienced the bright sunlight after a long gap. Remember, Punjab, Haryana were witnessing a foggy weather conditions from last 28 days. There was a some respite after 11th of January when a western disturbance became active in this region that caused small rain and also got respite from the fog. But as far as the Met Department predictions are concerned, it has predicted that the dense fog will return after 14th of January. So people are already bracing the extremely cold weather conditions. The unsung heroes, particularly the rehdiwalas, the vegetable vendors, the milkmen, and the drivers and the other people who get early in the morning are bracing these extremely cold weather conditions, Preeti, and these conditions are continue to prevail in the days to come. But the Met Department has also said that these conditions have also brought cheers to the wheat growers, as India can expect a bumper wheat crop this year, but has damaged a sizable part of the potato, the onions and fenugreek crops in Punjab, as the crops could not bear the cold temperatures. So while at one hand it's good for the wheat crop, but bad for the vegetable growers, and these conditions are likely to prevail further. Preeti.
You know, stay with me, Manjeet. I want to cut across to Varanasi, where Abhishek Mishra is joining us, as well as Jai Kishan Sharma, who's joining us from Jaipur. And in Varanasi, Abhishek, you know, the fact is usually Varanasi is much warmer during this time. It's also seen a cold wave, and what is predicted is maybe Varanasi is not going to face such a bad brunt like possibly the other areas of Punjab, Delhi, Rajasthan with what is predicted. But even then, Varanasi will, in terms of temperature, in terms of prediction, will drop to a 2 or 3 degrees Celsius is what is being reported.
Well, absolutely, Preeti. It is not going to be that evident the way it is going to be in Delhi, in Punjab and Himachal Pradesh. But yes, indeed, specifically if I talk about the eastern part of Uttar Pradesh could be affected. Now, what is being said currently is that the western disturbance over the west and the north region is currently emerging as a major reason behind the quite a relief in the temperature. Today also in Varanasi, it was a sunny day. The temperature was approximately around 12 to 14 degrees Celsius, and there has not been much of a problem as far as fog and, severe cold is concerned. But what is being predicted that post-Saturday, that is 14th of January, 15th to 17th is going to be very important because the western disturbance, which was eventually a grace for the region for a while, will shift to eastern part. And that will directly have an effect on the temperature, which will go down to below minimum 4 degrees Celsius and maximum of 15 degrees Celsius. So that is something which Uttar Pradesh was also witnessed.
So
the
4
impact
or
will be
15.
much in the western part in comparison to the
your
eastern
prediction
part,
for your
yes,
cities
indeed,
are 4 and 15 degrees Celsius, where I am sitting, and possibly where some of our other reporters is. The prediction is it's going to go down to -4 degrees Celsius. It's unheard in the national capital. But there is a dichotomy to it because there are two opinions. I'll cut across to Sunil, my colleague in Jammu, and my colleague Jai Kishan in Jaipur in just 5 minutes. Gentlemen, just give me that time. I want to quickly introduce our guest. I have Dr. K.J. Ramesh, former Director General of the Indian Met Department. Also, Dr. Charan Singh, Deputy Director General of Met Department, RMC, New Delhi, and Navdeep Dhaya. He's a weather expert. Out of all these three viewers, I want to cut to Navdeep Dhaya because, Mr. Dhaya, you're one of the very few experts, weather experts, that has actually predicted conditions which are unheard, unprecedented. -4 degrees Celsius. It's never quite happened in the Delhi NCR area.
I would like to clarify that the prediction is basically based on a model, and it is basically currently lying across the plains. Basically, we know that the colder conditions are going to be mainly focusing on Punjab, parts of Western Haryana and Rajasthan, specifically areas which are close to the semi-arid area near Hisar, Fatehpur, Shekhawati, Shikar, Churu. All these areas are in line for the minimum temperature to dip at least -2 to -4 degrees Celsius in the coming week.
What are the worst days?
The worst days are 16th to 18th. In between that is going to be the coldest period in the entire northern Rajasthan, Western Haryana region.
Okay, tell me something that I'm interested in. What about the Delhi NCR region?
Delhi NCR has seen 1.9 degrees Celsius in the last week, and this seems to be more colder because there have been a heavy snowfall event at the Kashmir, and we are expecting that the wind speed is going to be slightly higher compared to previous spell, and it is going to be colder. So specifically talking about Delhi, the areas in central Delhi like Safdarjung may hit at least up to 0 degrees Celsius, which is still freezing temperatures. But areas in the outskirts of Delhi, like there are few observatories outside of Delhi as well. Even in Gurgaon, if we consider, it can dip as low as -1 degree Celsius.
So
to be very clear that the outskirts of the Delhi can see temperature is minus, but the core areas of Delhi will still be seeing 0 to 1 degree Celsius of minimum temperature. That is still very cold. And if we consider for the current century, like we have seen, like in the past 23 years, 1.9 was even the coldest. So going below that will still be a severe cold wave, which will be affecting.
Well, it will be historic in whatever sense that might be, but stay with me because there's a larger question that emanates from your model, and that question is, are weather patterns changing? Because usually viewers, we all know that Lodi is tomorrow. And traditionally, it's been said that after Lodi, it only gets warmer. The coldest months are December and January. But it seems now there's a shift, and the coldest months seem to be January and February. But like I said, there is a duality to the reading of Mr. Dhaya, because there is a contradiction as well, which has come in from other experts. So I want to bring in two other experts to possibly weigh in and go across to our reporters as well to get a quick update on Jammu and Jaipur. But, Dr. Singh, I'll come down to you. Do you concur with Mr. Dhaya? He says, as per his model, the worst is yet to come, and it could be a historic low for the NCR region and other plains in North India.
Hello, madam. Listening to me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. Go ahead. Dr. Singh, go ahead.
We are as a IMDN forecast with considering the all models available, actual conditions of the weather prevailing, and the climatology. So as such, there is at present a western disturbance passing over northwest India, which prevail over that region around 2 days. After that, another WD from 19th affect the northwest India. So in between, we can say next 2 days, the temperature will be around 7 to 8 degree in Delhi. And after that, some dip is there, maybe 4 to 5 degrees centigrade. at Safdarjung Airport or NCR Delhi.
सर तो IMD कह रही है, IMD के मुताबिक कि जो 1 डिग्री 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस -1 डिग्री दिल्ली के लिए प्रिडिक्ट किया जा रहा है और NCR के लिए प्रिडिक्ट किया जा रहा है वो नहीं होगा.
No, yes, नहीं.
वो नहीं होगा.
IMD not agreed with this. And again,
बट डॉक्टर सिंह एक चीज बताइए, IMD ही थी जिसने दिसंबर की बिगिनिंग में प्रिडिक्ट किया था कि ये सबसे गर्म सर्दी होगी NCR रीजन के लिए.
As you see that forecast was the monthly forecast or the seasonal forecast. When we take the average for the month or for the season, that result could be come in front of us.
Achha.
Just now we can say for the whole season by considering the 8th and 9th temperature when Delhi recorded on 8th 1.9 degrees centigrade. So this is not the conclusion of the long range forecast or monthly forecast.
Okay, can I go to Dr. Ramesh right now? Dr. KJ Ramesh, former Director General of IMD. Sir, there are two very, very different opinions. One which is coming in from weather experts like Mr. Daya, who say it's going to be the worst that we've seen. It's going to go down to -4 degrees Celsius in Rajasthan, Haryana. Delhi in itself, core region will go to 0 to -1 degree Celsius. Outskirts could be close to -4 degrees Celsius.
See, I agree for Rajasthan and Punjab, western side of NCR, whatever lowest possible, close to 1 to 0 degrees is clearly possible. But for NCR, you have to consider the issue of air pollution. So much of pollution loading is there into the NCR atmosphere. It will not be touching 0 definitely. It will be maximum, lowest could be between 1 to 3 degrees centigrade. That would be the minimum between 15th to 18th, as Charan Singh said.
Okay, Mr. Daya, now I will bring you in. Two very experienced gentlemen have trashed your prediction and said it's not going to happen.
Well, with due respect to all the panelists, I would still would say that there are possibilities that temperature can dip as low as to 0 degrees Celsius to parts of Delhi NCR.
Why do you say it? Why do you say, what makes you so confident of your prediction?
So yet again, the climatology itself, we know that the 1.9 degrees Celsius was recorded last week, and yet again, there is a colder air pushing in towards the parts of northern India, which is going to be slightly more colder compared to previous spell, because in previous spell, there were only light snowfall activities that have took place in the region. But this time around, Kashmir is recording moderate snowfall activities. So winds are going to be slightly more colder, which is prevalent that there's going to be a temperature dip compared to the previous spell. So the Delhi NCR will be around 0 to 1 degree Celsius for sure, but places in Haryana, Northern Rajasthan are going to dip up to -4
okay.
degrees.
Mr. Zaya, the fact is I'm going through your social media feed. Some of your predictions have been bang on, if you look at the last couple of months. But, stay with me. I want to cut across to our two other reporters as well. Jai Kishan Sharma from Jaipur, Sunil Ji Bhatt from Jammu. Gentlemen, apologies extended to both of you. I've made you stand out in the very, very freezing colds of Jaipur and Jammu. So I am sorry. We needed to cut across to our guest. Akshay as well is also joining us. But Sunil Ji, I'll come to you first. It's cold in Jammu, colder than us here in Delhi, but it's bound to get colder where Jammu is concerned. Is, Jammu and Kashmir ready for the kind of cold which has been predicted, which is going to go below -4 degrees Celsius?
Well, good evening, Preeti. And as far as the weather in Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, today there was some respite from the intense, cold wave conditions. At least here in Jammu city, the sun was out and people could, there was smile on the faces of people. But as far as Kashmir Valley is concerned, there has been continuous snowfall there. And the valley is right now under the harshest winter period, which is known as Chilai Kalan in the Kashmiri language. And in the hilly areas of Jammu region also, it has snowed today, whether it's Punch and in the hilly areas of Rajouri district. So Jammu and Kashmir is reeling under intense cold wave conditions. But this is something which is, which is part of the identity of Jammu and Kashmir, that winters are very harsh here. But people are used to, harsh winters here. They have different mechanisms to deal with it. And it's
Sunilji, there's a problem with your audio link. We're going to try and connect, once again to you. Jai Kishan Sharma from Jaipur is with us. Jai Kishan, the fact is, if I'm just going through the temperature, especially in Rajasthan, it's been the lowest in Rajasthan in 23 years this winter. But guess what? It's going to get worse.
Absolutely, Preeti, that the second wave of intense cold condition is going to engulf the Rajasthani and the desert state. Again, what Med is predicting is that after 15 January, temperatures will go below 0 degrees Celsius in Sikar district, in Karoli, in some pockets of Bharatpur, and Mount Abu would be the coldest across the country. So the state government has also given directions, especially to the farmers, to gear up with preparation, because intense cold is going to bite the desert state again very soon. As of now, in last 3 days, there has been some relief from intense cold, but contradictory weather conditions are being witnessed in Rajasthan, while in early mornings and late nights, the temperature is below 10 degrees Celsius. In afternoon, there is some respite across the state. Preeti.
All right, Jai Kishan, stay with me. I want to go once again before I let Akshay Dongre go. But Akshay, you've been you've done multiple stories, especially when it has come down to all those who are out in the streets. And before I come to you, I'd like to say this to our viewers: don't pack away your woolens, and if there is extra, donate, donate, donate. Is there a plan where the Delhi government is concerned? Because some of the reports that have come in from the Rain Baseras are abysmal. Is there a plan keeping a possible, temperature dip, which is historic, if it actually happens?
Well, Preeti, usually the Delhi government, when it comes up with a plan, it also publicizes it so that the people who are in need of most of these plans should at least reach to them. This is an extreme weather condition, and as of now, no announcement has been made by the Delhi government. However, the ministers and the members of the Aam Aadmi Party, they have been saying that enough arrangements are being made. However, we have gone to the Rain Baseras. Many of them are overcrowded. At many places, the condition and the facilities that should be there are not there. So certainly that is one sector where the Delhi government needs to improve as far as the situation is concerned, because there are a lot of migrant workers who come from different parts of the country looking for jobs here, may not end up getting a job, and then they end up on the streets of the national capital. And that exactly is the reason that as the Delhi government has been talking about these Rain Baseras, it is time for the Delhi government to do some check at the Rain Baseras and enhance the infrastructure as far as these extreme weather conditions are concerned. Because also, Preeti, this is not just a coincidence in the national capital, especially, and the neighboring regions. Even the monsoon is very unpredictable nowadays. It doesn't rain during monsoon season. Then there are heavy floods, and the concentration of the rainfall is limited to a few days. That has also been termed as an extreme weather condition by the Met Department, by Mr. Janamani as well. The summers are extremely hot on certain days, so certainly climate change and the changes in the climate that we are seeing is very much evident in the ecology of the national capital as well. So
that's exactly
people have to brace.
Okay, that's exactly the question, Akshay, that I'm going to take to our experts, because this is climate change, Dr. KJ Ramesh, because like I said, there seems to be a clear shift in the weather pattern where Delhi is concerned. Usually December, January were touted to be the coldest months. February was supposed to be spring, but it seems those 2 months have now shifted to January and February. Why?
See, this is all because of climate change. Everything is getting shifted, because monsoon itself is extending all through up to September. Earlier, from early September itself, it used to withdraw from Rajasthan, West Rajasthan, from Ayanagar. But that is not the case now. For last 4-5 years already, longevity of the monsoon in North India has increased. Similarly, northeast monsoon in the peninsular India is also very strong and going well above normal. So it is almost peninsula. If you take, it is a 6 months rain. It's not the monsoon 4 months rain now. So things have changed quite a bit, and we have to be ready for much more stronger changes and associated impacts in times to come, because warming is continuing.
Okay. Navdeep Dhaya, you do understand by making this prediction, there are few like you. You've walked, pretty much away from what has been the generalized prediction of the IMD. You could go horribly wrong or you could get it completely right.
There have been observation I've been doing in the past decade, and that's been true that the predictions, we do know that the models are getting quite better nowadays, and this is the thing which gives the confidence to the other observation as well, that we know.
What is the model, Navdeep Dhaya, that you are following that possibly Dr. Charan Singh in the IMD is not looking at? What is the difference in your models?
That model is again from the NCMRWF, which is from the government itself. So, yet coming back to the point, the model anomalies itself predicting that the minimum temperatures can dip at least up to -4 in parts of northern Rajasthan, and the shape towards Delhi NCR look like up to a freezing 0 or maybe a 1 degree Celsius. This is what it seems to be like going.
So you're reading the same model that Dr. Charan Singh is reading, but your prediction is at least 6 degrees less than what Dr. Charan Singh is. Navdeep Dhaya.
Well, that's my opinion around that with the model and all the observation that I do. And I completely, have a same page that if some viewers have a different opinion, that's it. Yeah.
So what are the other, what are you looking at other than the same model that Dr. Charan Singh and the IMD follows? What do you add to it?
See,
that again, makes you come up with this prediction?
Back to the climatology part, there have been -4.7 degrees Celsius in Shikar, Rajasthan in the past. If I talk about directly to the data point, -3.9 degrees Celsius in Hisar in 31st of Jan 1929. In, Amritsar, -3.6 degrees Celsius on 9 December 1996. In Churu, -4.6 degrees Celsius on 16 Jan 1974. And in Jaisalmer, -4.9 degrees Celsius on 12 Jan 1967. These are the records of Honorable IMD itself. And before that, when we used to be, a past decade, we don't have the model capabilities very strong to predict the cold waves. But now I would say that our models have significantly improved. And if they are saying that it can dip to the minus in parts of Rajasthan and all that, then we should be seeing that. That should be happening. And this will realize in the coming days.
Okay, well, you're very confident about your prediction. Dr. Charan Singh, Mr. Dhaya saying he's reading the same model as you, Dr. Singh, but you are reading it very different than Mr. Dhaya.
Not like that. IMD is observing the various models. So many models, about 8 to 10 models. And that model synchronize on the day-to-day forecast, observe weather observations and seeing the weather pattern. As I say in earlier talk, that present WD affecting 2 days in Northwest India, another is affecting from 19th onward. In between, there is the slight fall in the temperature, but that temperature so not much fall like a 1 or 2 degree. So IMD predicting not less than 3 to 4 degrees centigrade going to be held in Delhi. So IMD forecast not depend on the only model. IMD considering the actual observations, model guidance, climatology, experience, and that while considering these conditions, 3-4 conditions, then predict the temperature.
Dr. Charan Singh, sometimes you really shouldn't do it, but I'd just like to do it. I'd like to get both Dr. Charan Singh and Navdeep Dhaya in 2 windows next to me, and I will ask Mr. Navdeep Dhaya first. Mr. Dhaya, are you willing to take a bet on your prediction? Will you put your reputation on the line?
No, not like that, not at all. The science community doesn't, favor this kind of betting or anything like that. And we should definitely, there can be a difference in the prediction and all of that. But yeah, this should not be happening here. Yeah.
So, okay. But you're saying you could be wrong. You're saying you could be wrong then.
Yeah, definitely. It is a prediction. It can be wrong. It can be super accurate. And I will be like, it's okay. Because this is what meteorology is itself. Predictions are off, predictions are accurate.
That's a mature statement. Dr. Charan Singh, do you also agree that you could be wrong as well, that it could actually dip down to the level that Mr. Dhaya is saying?
I am not agree. I can say slight, maybe wrong, but not larger scale wrong.
Okay, now
One
I'll
or
ask.
two 1 or 2 degree may be fluctuate, not more than that.
1 or 2, sir, आपने तो you predicted 2 degrees Celsius, 2 to 3 for Delhi. 1 or 2 में तो 0 degree तो हो ही जाएगा.
Not so I can say about 4 to 5 degrees. Just 1 degree can be fluctuate. 1 degree can fluctuate.
Okay, just for the record, where NCR region is concerned, Mr. Dahiya has predicted 0 to -1 degree Celsius, and Dr. Singh has predicted 4 degrees Celsius, but it could go down to 2 degrees Celsius is what he's saying. But Dr. KJ Ramesh, I want to ask you, I'm sorry, you've been the former director of the Indian Met Department, and I'll ask you one quick question, sir, before I close the show as well with all of you, and that comes from the fact that why is it that the IMD usually does get it wrong? While usually in other countries that you see, the other Met departments, I know you're shaking your head, sir, but I will give you a very recent prediction. In December, the IMD had predicted this to be the warmest, hottest winter that the NCR region had seen. Already we've broken 3 records.
See, you are comparing average tendencies which IMD has told for the season of December, January, February, 3 months average. That was the one which IMD has given. It is going to be above normal. In between the season, we are talking about the epochs of the cold waves and the western disturbances. So you cannot compare these temperature changes to the average picture. Wait up to February, IMD will give you verification.
Okay, wait until February and we'll get a verification. I appreciate all 3 of you gentlemen for joining us, viewers, and we'll end in that it might not touch -4 degrees Celsius as predicted by Mr. Dahiya, where the NCR region is concerned. He says certain parts of Haryana, Gurgaon might still go there, but it's still going to get much colder. So the sheer fact of all of us saying, there's Lodi tomorrow, put away your warm clothes after you burn that Lodi fire. Well, not true. It's going to get cold, and it could, in any case, get down to a 2 degrees Celsius or a 3 degrees Celsius. That is what the IMD is predicting. And once again, if you're not going to unpack your woolens and you have extra, donate, donate, donate. There's somebody out on the streets who needs it. Thank you for joining us.
Tushar Gupta, do you think that Mohan Bhagwat in a way is once again falling into the trap of singly, if you look at his statements 5 or 6 months ago, they seemed much more moderated, they seemed much more inclusive. In this occasion, when he speaks about this 1,000-year war in particular, it almost appears that he's once again going into these civilizational battles that are existing and continue to exist at the moment.
Good evening. Look, he is indeed referring to some civilizational battles, but he's also referring to the futility of them in the current context. I would just like to elaborate from where Professor Ragi left. Now, if we look at the current context, we talk about the regional supremacy because there are some sections on both sides that believe in this rhetorical supremacy. There was a case which we had where a party spokesperson crossed the line on a show, and everyone was on the streets shouting "Sar tan se juda." As much deplorable as her statements were, the legal precedents should have taken over, but it were people who were showing the supremacy. Yes, a ruling party member said ki jeb mein chaku hona chahiye, but then it was one of the Owaisi brothers who said remove the police for 15 minutes and we'll kill 1 crore Hindus. So these statements, this boisterous rhetorical supremacy has been on both sides, and Mohan Bhagwat is condemning them equally, where he says that rhetorical supremacy, either from Muslims or from Hindus or even from communists, is incorrect and futile in today's time. So we have to look at things in the current context. And if you look at the interview in its entirety, I think he's asking for a more pluralistic society, more diverse society with accommodation of diverse ideas and ideologies. Otherwise, why would he have stressed that the population bill is about awareness? It's not something that can be forced. We've seen how the discussions around the population bill happen in this country. And Mohan Bhagwat took a very, very liberal view saying, We have to focus on awareness. We can't force someone to follow it. So I think it would be incorrect to refer to this.
I take your point that you need to look at the interview in its entirety. In particular, it's very interesting. Mohan Bhagwat speaks about social acceptance of LGBTQ communities and thereby seems to sort of suggest that you need to create a more inclusive society.
Not engineers or doctors, students at this government school in Hasuri, Osanpur in UP's Siddharthnagar district want to be scientists. All thanks to a unique space lab designed and set up by the Indian Space Research Organization in 2022. The school kids are thrilled to see different planets and their satellites through the telescope. Around 8 lakh rupees was spent on the lab in the school.
सर, जब हमारे यहाँ स्पेस लैब नहीं थी तो हम लोग सौरमंडल के बारे में ही जानते थे. इससे ज़्यादा हम लोग सोच नहीं पाते थे.
तो स्पेस लैब लगने की वजह से हमें सौरमंडल के बारे में बहुत कुछ जानने को मिला है और सैटेलाइट्स कैसे बनती हैं, सैटेलाइट्स का काम क्या होता है, ये सब भी जानने को मिला है जो कि पहले हमें स्कूल्स में नहीं पढ़ाया जाता था.
The Space Lab is the initiative of Dilip Tripathi, the village Pradhan. The postgraduate in ancient history was inspired by the Hindi film Mission Mangal. He approached the Vyomika Space Academy, which was working with ISRO, to start classes in astronomy in the school.
एक भी आदमी यहाँ से, एक भी बच्चा अगर हमारा आने वाले समय में यहाँ से निकल के अगर स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी में अपने जाके देश की सेवा करेगा तो हमारा समझ लीजिए इसे स्पेस लैब का लगाना सफल हो जाएगा.
The Space Lab has scale models of all satellites launched by ISRO since 1980 and those that will be launched till 2030. It has 2 telescopes of 60 mm and 130 mm. It also has many remote-operated aircraft models and drones. Students from the school have also been selected for the ISRO campus tour. With Ashish Mishra, Bureau Report, India Today.
Modi juggernaut rolls in Karnataka. Roadshow sets the tone for campaign. But all's not well in BJP and Congress. State of war Karnataka explodes. Big focus on news track.
Tonight at 9 p.m. on the news today with me, Rajdeep Sardesai. Courts cannot dilute the sovereignty of Parliament, claims Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, wading into the growing debate between the judiciary and the executive. Is the Modi government spoiling for a fight with the judiciary? Is the big talking point on the news today. Also on the show, we'll have the latest ground report from Joshimath, where demolitions are set to take place. And we'll tell you just why parents of children with rare diseases are desperately seeking the help of government and civil society. All that and much more on the news today.
You're watching an India Today special broadcast being brought to you from the stunning ski resort of Klosters, Davos.
The 53rd World Economic Forum is back at the snow-clad slopes of Davos. The smartest minds gather to debate the world's biggest challenges: energy crisis, industry headwinds, geopolitical risks, social vulnerabilities. India Today and Business Today are at ground zero to bring you all the action. Catch top corporate tycoons, politicians and intellectuals as they discuss cooperation in a fragmented world. Watch the Davos Brainstorm only on India Today and Business Today TV.
Presented by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Growing Legacies. Co-presented by Century Ply, Aag Se Bachai. Co-presented by Macho Hint, Fashion Bade Aaram Se. Co-powered by Samsonite, tested like Samsonite. Indian Oil, Pehle Indian, Phir Oil.
Modi juggernaut rolls in Karnataka. Roadshow sets the tone for campaign. But all's not well in BJP and Congress. State of war Karnataka explodes. Big focus on news track.
The war for Karnataka has already begun, and the Prime Minister's big roadshow in Hubballi has only signaled that it's nearer than we like to think. It's still 3 months away, but the battle has begun. The question is, are both sides equally battle ready? Or are there some real problems in both the ruling party as well as the opposition Congress? We have a big political panel debating that tonight on News Track. I'm Shiv Arur. As always, the headlines at 8. Prime Minister Modi's big youth outreach in Hubballi in Karnataka. Prime Minister pays tribute to Kannada legends, says runway is ready for young Indians to take off.
The runway is ready. The runway is ready for your takeoff.
Demolition begins of one of the 2 hotels that were marked unsafe in Joshimath begins. JCBs brought in, emotional locals leave their homes. Suspended BJP Neta Nupur Sharma gets a gun license. This after several Sartan se juda threats she received over her prophet remarks last year. Weeks after Tawang clash, Army Chief speaks on LAC status, says the situation on northern borders is stable but predictable. We've got a special report coming up at 10 p.m. India's capital gets the chills. Cold wave conditions predicted to intensify. Temperatures could drop to as low as -4 in North India, according to at least one prediction. The Modi juggernaut rolled in Karnataka today, and how? Not in Bengaluru, but in the town of Hubballi. The Prime Minister held a huge roadshow in the BJP stronghold, setting the tone for the campaign for the upcoming state election. The Prime Minister also addressed this huge gathering of youth, galvanizing young Indians to help build a new India. Many important messages from the Prime Minister, but remember, elections in Karnataka are only 3 months away, and this is very much part of the battle for that state.
कर्नाटका का ये क्षेत्र अपनी परंपरा, संस्कृति और ज्ञान के लिए प्रसिद्ध है। यहां की अनेक विभूतियों को ज्ञानपीठ पुरस्कार से सम्मानित किया गया है। इस क्षेत्र ने देश को एक से बढ़कर एक महान संगीतकार दिए हैं। पंडित कुमार गंधर्व, पंडित बसवराज राजगुरु, पंडित मल्लिकार्जुन मानसोर, भारत रत्न पंडित भीमसेन जोशी और पंडिता गंगूबाई हंगल जी को मैं आज हुबली की धरती पर आकर नमन करते हुए अपनी श्रद्धांजलि देता हूं। युवा की जीवटता क्या होती है, उसके हौसले कैसे मौत को भी मात दे सकते हैं, ये कर्नाटका के सपूत लांस नायक हनुमन थप्पा खोपड़ ने सियाचिन के पहाड़ों में दिखा दिया था। -55 डिग्री तापमान में भी वो 6 दिन तक मौत से मुकाबला करते रहे थे और वहां से जिंदा निकल करके आए थे। इन एवरी डोमेन a strong foundation has been laid in the last 8-9 years. The runway is ready. The runway is ready for your takeoff. Today, there is a great optimism in the world towards India and its youth. This optimism is about you. This optimism is because of you.
The public events, road shows, campaigns, rallies are all going to become very, very frequent now as the day gets closer to the election in Karnataka. But while the Prime Minister was in Hubli today, viewer, former Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa's absence from the event has set tongues wagging. People are wondering, has he been shaded out or sidelined once again? It happened recently. There was another event involving the biggies of the BJP where Mr. Yediyurappa was not invited, and then later the party had a change of heart and invited him. Is the Lingayat strongman being sidelined in some way? The BJP cited protocol, saying the state leadership wasn't invited because it was a central government event and only government leaders were invited. But while the BJP battles internal differences, the Congress too, remember, is struggling with its own leadership crisis.
He is a stalwart in Karnataka's politics. He is the architect of several BJP wins and the biggest Lingayat face in Karnataka. B.S. Yediyurappa's legacy in Karnataka politics can never be ignored. And yet the BJP seems to have chosen not just to sideline, but also snub BSY again and again and again. But the latest snub is perhaps the most insulting. No invite has been extended to B.S. Yediyurappa for Prime Minister Modi's Hubli visit. And it's not just Yediyurappa, but also former CM Jagdish Shettar, who is a Hubli strongman. It isn't the first time that a no invite to Yediyurappa has set tongues wagging. Just weeks ago, the absence of the senior leader from Amit Shah's Mandya rally raised eyebrows. The who's who of BJP's Karnataka leadership was there, but not Yediyurappa, who even hails from Mandya. It's become a habit of sorts. A central BJP leader touches down and Yediyurappa goes missing. The Karnataka BJP has been firefighting these rumours for some time now. When BJP chief JP Nadda visited Koppal in December, Yediyurappa wasn't invited and reportedly expressed his displeasure prompting a last-minute personal invite from the state unit. But BSY has time and again quelled all this talk, saying all is well.
ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಯನ್ನು ಹಗಲು ರಾತ್ರಿ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಬೆಳೆಸಿ ಕಟ್ಟಿರುವಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಒಬ್ಬ ಪ್ರಮುಖ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುವಂಥ ಸಂಗತಿ. ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಈ ಥರ ಮಾತುಗಳು ಹೇಳುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಆ ಥರ ಯಾವುದೇ ಪ್ರಸಂಗ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಟ್ಟಾಗಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಒಗ್ಗಟ್ಟಾಗಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಒಂದಾಗಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಏಕೈಕ ಗುರಿ ಬರುವಂಥ ದಿವಸಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಜೆಪಿನ ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ತರುವುದು.
CM Basavaraj Bommai too has attempted damage control, saying there was no question of his predecessor being sidelined.
ಅದು ಶುದ್ಧ ಸುಳ್ಳು. ಸರ್ವೋಚ್ಚ ನಾಯಕರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಮುಂದಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅವರ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ನಮಗಿದೆ. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಡ್ಡಾಜಿಯವರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದು ತಂದೆ ಮಗನ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇದೆ. ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ಯಾವುದೇ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಊಹೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರು ನಿರಾಶೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
But the worry